Gotta actually, like, boot up the game. Right. Okay, so, we're gonna wait, like, for, like, a minute or two. Or three. Or 500. And of course you can't see it because... Dude, I was just testing it out and it was there and now it's not here apparently. You can't see it. Oh, God. Okay, never mind. You can see it. What time is it? Well, I'm gonna change it when it says 24. It's gonna say 24 soon. You just wait. It's gonna say 24. Come on. There you go. 24. What do you mean? Hang on. Can you say something? What is it? You're welcome. No, no, I'm scared. My favorite time? I'm scared. No, I don't trust this. Oh God, I don't know if I trust it. All right, let's begin. Also, yeah, I'm doing this in 720p because I don't know. I don't want a chance doing it in 1080 and it being all like.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hold on. I gotta actually see the audio levels. Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Well, good for him.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Hello.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh God, it feels so weird to play this. Hold on. Just whoop. I'm gonna put this here, and then I'm gonna like boop this there, and then our settings. FOV. Oh, my favorite. Mouse sensitivity, camera sensitivity. Maybe lower it. Make it higher, or maybe lower it. Controller vibration. I don't have a controller. Subtitle sizes. I would like it to be large. Make that 40. Content warnings. Oh no. Oh God.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Is it now? Interact E. Crouch. I can crouch apparently. Left control. Okay. Got it. Whoa, field of view. What was it before? 72? I'll be fine.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
What do you
mean?
mean?
Stanley
Oh, wait.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe I just shouldn't read. Because there is a narrator. That makes the most sense. Whoops, I did something. Sorry. Click, plot, click. I'm doing everything. Whoops, sorry.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, don't mind if I do then. Oh, look at this photo. Look at these stuff. Look at this stuff. Look at the giant bright... I was about to say sun, but I don't know if that's a sun.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
You know, I thought this was, like, not loaded in. I was like, wait, what? And then it's like, oh, wait, it's just glass. It's just glass. Nice. Bevel. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Oh, thank you. Monetize free to play. They already did that, sadly. What is hot? Target demographic. Teenagers. Rate at which chart on the same slide depicts the same information. Wow, I can read that. Graphs per slide. Wait, no, wait, see, no more charts and blaming me, stop! Huh, they had that position? Why did we hire you? I don't know. Why did you hire me? Comatose? A boat. Clear skin. Less air. You know what? I want that. Don't get fired. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively. Present coworkers. I'm like all these things above. Alright, I think that's it. I think that's the same slide. Ow.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I guess we're doing this now. We're really
There was
doing
nothing
this.
here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
But I want to be here.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Oh, I mean, I love doing some sweet FA. Just look at me right now. I'm playing Fire Emblem Heroes.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Guess that would
Why?
be fed.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Well, currently, I'm looking at Twitter and also at Fire Emblem Heroes. And this is just the best
You
time to
do
do it.
realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Ew.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say,
Oh, did you
get
the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
They probably do.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Nice.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Hold on, wait, I'm still looking at Twitter. Okay, no, wait, okay, now I gotta look at Discord. Okay.
Ah, second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Yeah, the scary thing about this is that it's like, I don't know if there's anything new in the broom closet. And that's the freaky part. Oh, no!
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Bathroom. Why do all the doors flip outwards? I'm thinking this is Minecraft and I can like zoom in, but I can't zoom in. Oh, I can duck though.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
You're right. Because I kind of forgot what it was. It was 2, 4...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Okay, so I technically remembered it, but I didn't remember it.
2845.
Jets, I thought that was it. Wait, I played Calculator before.
It turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Oh, well, whoop-de-doo. Thank you, narrator. Wow, I can barely see. This really is Minecraft. I can barely see.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Wait, I can go back.
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
No, silly
Why did
me!
Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Probably nothing.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
Me
It's
neither.
that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
You are too. Certification of pomp and circumstance? I don't know. Well, clearly there's something here. Clearly there's nothing here.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I don't know. You tell me.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me. Oh my God. It's the boss's office.
No way.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Ah. You know, I thought that was coffee.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
No, wait, no. You know what the scary part is about all this? I can't tell if this is actually new stuff or not.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Master? I'm no master. All I do is just press buttons all day. Are you kidding me? Link plus. Oh, I thought this is pills for like 1 second there.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did
Yeah.
I not anticipate it?
Uh-huh.
Sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no
Really?
frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
You know what? Fair enough.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh, God.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big,
You're not wrong.
explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're
Me?
the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is
Yeah.
why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not
Really?
afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're
That's
a
gross.
role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about
No
your
way.
work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Oh, my God. Stanley. What the hell is this? The world's healthiest human being. All tricks revealed. That doesn't look healthy at all. She's not wearing a t-shirt. How we did it. The guy that who went to Mars. No way. An evening with the world peace baby? Baby?
Yes, here it is, just through this door.
Tonight, live on stage. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable, Stanley. Oh my God, that's Stanley? Holy shit. Sentient machine. That's a claw grabber. Alexander the Great? Oh,
All
he's
right,
pretty
Are
great.
you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Oh,
Okay, it looks like they're ready
Thank
for
you.
you.
thank you,
Go get
narrator.
'em.
Thank you. What was that? Remember where you came from. my coworkers, Stanley, me, David? Who the hell's David? At first I thought that says dead, but that would be rude. Break a leg. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. And I can barely see that one because of the blinding light. Your wife. From the apartment. Ending. Okay. Go get him, Tiger. Break a leg. Why do we have two of the break a legs? Up and down again. I have a bug, apparently. The dude who came up with pizza! Oh. Pizza. Oh, I have to... Oh, God! Well, what a great game, guys. Alright, now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
We did it, guys. Our first ending. I'm so proud of myself that I did it. All alone. With no help at all. I'm so proud of myself. I would like to thank the developers of this game. What was it called again? Crows.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I would like to thank literally everyone else for existing.
Yet there was not a single person here
I would like to
either.
thank the broom
Feeling a
closet.
wave of disbelief. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Alright, time to look at Twitter again.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh god, it's fuck me.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
I know, right? I know.
That kind of anxiety isn't
I remember
healthy,
the password.
So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
I need to sneeze, hold on.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Thank you. I needed that calmy New Age music or whatever it was. No, I'm not falling for you again. Especially when that happens. Okay, I say that, but then...
Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
Silly me! No, silly
Why
me!
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Well,
Incredible.
I'm not anymore.
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
By repeating the same thing over and over again? Okay, no, let's progress.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Yes.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh, it's closed. Alright, fair enough. Let me just, do the moonwalk, I guess.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the
Fired.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That guy's also fired. Private? Hey, there's me. Hey, come on, let's go.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, right, I was like, wait, what do I do? Huh? Huh? What happened?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Ah!
Yes.
Oh.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Freedom's very dark and
even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Not stepped. Moonwalked. But thank you, narrator.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I beat the game! No way! But I'll never be happy. So,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
whoops. Cool. New content? No way!
Oh, new content? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Content.
Goodbye, chair.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're welcome.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
As am I. Thank you, narrator. I wish I can, like, make you louder, but I can't, unless I, like, go into my audio mixer. I'll just, like, you know, bump it up a little bit.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Uh-huh.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Don't give me the content.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh my god. And we cannot jump anymore. Fair enough.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Hold on. Just gotta put that there just in case. I don't know, I was excited for jumping in a circle.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yes.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
That time's currently wrong, but I'll let it slide.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed
Yeah,
up
that's
on
true.
this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold
God.
them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I
No,
built
it's
up too much
not.
anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I'm trying to get on this chair. But thanks. I hate Mondays. Garfield must live here.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Please don't say that one word that you might be saying. I'm scared.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
That stairs.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Hey, I was there. Kind of. Baby basket?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Okay. Good times. Good times. The original remake. Firefox. Be My Valentine. No. 2013. Our First Kiss, My First Car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Dang, its Steam page looks very... Is that... Russian? Time magazine? I want that CD. His very first dollar? Oh, good. Well, I'm glad that's impossible. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad I'm never gonna get that. Nice. Ooh, look at it go. I can go through there. Not little Stanley. Aww. I cannot sit. Wow, this is horribly uneven.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, c'est l'abri de l'eau, et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour. C'est là, dans la mémorisation.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them.
Persona 3?
And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Don't forget the jump button. There was a jump button there. Or, well, a jump zone. Portal. I don't remember. Minecraft? Yeah, I'm supposed to be playing Minecraft, but then this game came out. Haha. Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know who those are. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Wait, what? It got it a 9 instead of a 10. I probably should read that more, but I'm too lazy to read. I can't read. Remember the bicycle? Because I don't. The serious room? Is that Ty?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
I'll buy on Steam. Oh, wait. Oh, I can't reach, I think. There's something up there, or something.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
I know, right?
I'm trying to be
Oh,
funny.
shit.
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
But what about this one? Dang, walking on dirt in my Stanley Parable game? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Bulldog. Ow, I hit myself with a branch. Oh no, not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can
No.
tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I wonder if this person is still around. To be immortalized. It's Stanley Parable now. How does it feel to have Persona 3 be immortalized in the Stanley Parable now? I don't know. Funny? Also, narrator, we only been meeting for like how long? 55 minutes and 4 seconds and counting? Oh.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay, good. It's a good thing I can't drown. A ladder. I like the seagull sounds.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is. So on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is. So on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So,
but I wanna,
now you
I
see,
hear one
blah
part
blah
again.
blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently.
Oh,
I'm
God.
going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
This time's wrong.
Manifesto.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well there, sport. You really did
Or-
catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I
The
start
time
to
is
go
still
off on a
wrong.
thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game.
It is.
Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is
Shit, I should
to
be
have
writing this
had
down.
such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time.
Oh no.
From the ashes of
Why
depravity
does he?
rises
Why
the
does the
phoenix
from
of
the
quality.
from the?
How else
What was
to
that?
describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved
Wait,
video
again, I should
game
write this down
properties
so
of
when
all
I review the
time.
game, I will write this
additions and
down
changes
exactly
made to
word
this
for word.
expansion will
Oh, God.
surely resonate in the annals of the history of all
Also, it
media
says
ever
annals.
made. It is perhaps true
Annals.
to say that no
sorry.
mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege,
Surely.
a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any
Kind
rate,
of.
I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there?
No.
I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please,
What?
I'll take any option.
We're not an
at all.
RPG.
I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Oh no. It wants me to wait. It wants me to wait. Mom, I'm scared. Narrator, I'm scared. Hey, that minute hand didn't move. I think. This clock is a lie. Unless, maybe if I wait again. Okay, this time I'm gonna look at it. If it doesn't move, I'm moving on. Okay. It didn't move? Or maybe it did and I'm just blind. Oh god. Am I the problem here? Sorry, narrator.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And
You
there's
too, huh?
no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
You're
I
right.
can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe.
What?
I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much
Rosie,
I
please.
plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you?
Why
I've
wouldn't
been
I?
thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And
Nobody.
here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley, not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in a stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction.
Because you are not.
I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you?
Kind
you
of.
See what this means to me.
Maybe.
I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Okay.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I
Morning.
have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was
I love
unlike
revelations.
anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible, the spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you
Really?
might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one
narrator.
day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Darkness. No. It stopped working. No. 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 The time. Did it move? Dang. I hate the smoke alarm.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by...
By what? Oh.
Every person at every
I guess
moment in
apparently
time.
tabbed out.
If
Nice.
someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state
maybe.
of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But
What was
where
the
are
point?
the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place.
I
while
just
the
realized
narrator
now it's
sits there
repeating.
forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And
Yes, we do demand it. Or, well, this cookie does. Time's broken again.
the end, is never 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 the end,
I was wondering what that water dripping sound was.
never the end, is 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 never the end.
Time will never be fixed. Is it nighttime? I can't tell. Oh, yeah, I guess it was. Curses, if only I could jump. Oh, narrator, why? Oh, Jesus. Nature's healing. These fantastical JPEG or PNGs of grapes? Up, and now it's dead. Fair enough. You know, I'm shocked that this button is still working. After all this time. No, the time! I cannot get up here. No. But I can kind of float. Kind of float. What do you mean we can't get on this roof? Hey, the time is still wrong.